Philip with Awakened Entrepreneurship. In this video, I want to briefly talk about the most fundamental and the most important fundamental psychological structure that is in your psyche, meaning in your mind. Why are we talking about it? Because it contains or it represents a journey. Now, why is that important? That is important because every significant success in your life will represent a successful journey from the beginning, middle, and the end. It is a fascinating concept, and it's not just a concept, it is actually a discovery by Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was a genius. Was a genius who discovered that all the myths around the world are essentially containing the same story. The story that contains a number of steps that the hero must undergo in order to arrive at the final stage, at least in this interpretation, is return with the elixir. Well, the hero comes back and he has something to bring back to his community, to his home, or the hero gets married, or very often it ends in marriage, and marriage is the ultimate success, let's say for a man or for a woman. Like the cases, for example, in Beauty and the Beast, where Belle is the heroine and she ultimately marries the prince, but she has to undergo a journey, and the Beast has to do the same. He has his own journey to undertake, and his is even more difficult in many ways. Now, why are we talking about it? Again, because any significant success in your life will represent a journey, a completed journey from beginning to end. Now, you may or may not have noticed, depending on how much you've undertaken already, how many things you have tried and maybe failed, or maybe you were going to try something that you know it is something that you really should be doing. And this is really what this channel is about. It's doing exactly what you know you're supposed to be doing. You deep inside, you know it. And yet, you never really undertake it. Now, why does that happen? Well, you see, the mythical structure is real inside of you. Why? Because the very first step in it is the call to adventure. You are in the ordinary world, and then you have a call to adventure. And that's the call to adventure, that it comes from deep within. It doesn't come from outside. It comes from deep within. You want to grow like a tree. A tree wants to grow, and that's why it grows to its full potential. The same thing with you. You need to grow to your full potential just like the tree. The problem with a human being is that the tree doesn't have that problem. It doesn't have a mind that will stop it, that will prevent it from growing to the full potential. Well, you unfortunately have this thing called the mind. Without the mind, nothing is possible. But the mind, unfortunately, for the majority of people, for pretty much for this planet, for everybody, almost everybody on this planet, is the ruler, is the master, not the servant. The trick is to make the mind your servant, not the master. Take away mastery, dethrone the mind, and make him your servant. You get the call to adventure because it is deep inside of you. It was given to you just by nature, by your DNA. It is in you. You must undergo the journey. That's why you're here on this channel. That's why I'm talking to you, because you want to get started. Maybe you're already on the journey and you're facing difficulties. But you see, most of us, perhaps all of us, will face the next step, which is the refusal of the call. And the refusal of the call is this fear. Let me read very briefly from this website. It's a wonderful website, movieoutline.com, and under articles has the hero journey mythic something. But you can look it up. Just look up Joseph Campbell's hero journey steps. and you will get all the steps. Now, here is what's significant about the refusal of the call. Although the hero may be eager to accept the quest, at this stage he will have fears that need overcoming. Second thoughts or even deep personal doubts as to whether or not he is up to the challenge. They arise, these deep second thoughts. When this happens, the hero will refuse the call and as a result may suffer somehow. Haven't you suffered? Aren't you? Is it possible that you're suffering right now because you're refusing the call and you know it? You know that you want to be on this adventure, but you're refusing the call. Is that possible? Well, you see, it is happening because the mind is being the master at the moment. It is not being the servant. It is being the master. It is being the king. It needs to be dethroned. It needs to be disciplined. It needs to understand that finally you are the master, not it, your mind, because you are not your mind. That's the entire point, maybe the fundamental point. That is the fundamental point of awakened entrepreneurship. That your mind, for as long as your mind is your master, you're going to face tremendous difficulties and friction. As soon as you're able to dethrone the mind and make him your servant, or make it or her, your mind, your servant, this is where you, as soon as you're able to make your mind your servant, to dethrone it from being your master and make it your servant, this is the crucial moment. This is the moment of entrepreneurial awakening. That's exactly entrepreneurial awakening. That's when you take full control of your world, your inner world and your outer world. You're able to create, to manifest the things that are right for you and your business and the planet as a result, because that's what it's all about. If you're gonna be doing something that is wrong for the planet, sooner or later you will suffer the consequences. It will have to dissolve. Such a structure will be dissolved eventually. No, it has to be congruent with the needs of the planet today. So just wanted to introduce the paradigm of the hero's journey in this video, and we'll talk about what the implications are in the upcoming videos.